Okay. Okay. Good day, everyone. This is Embassy Direct News segment, welcoming and introducing new heads of mission to South Africa. Today, we will start with His Excellency, Dr. Nirmal Vishwakarma, Ambassador of the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal. Nepal is a landlocked country in South Asia. Its motto is, "Mother and motherland are greater in heaven." It has 8 of the tallest mountains in the world, including the famous Mount Everest. Good morning, Ambassador. Welcome to Embassy Direct.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Please introduce yourself, Excellency. Tell us, our audience, who you are.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank you, Your Excellency Rodrigo, and Embassy Direct for organizing such a very nice and useful program. And it is my pleasure to be a participant or to be a presenter of for this program. And thank you again. Actually, I am professionally, I am a political activist, as I am now newly appointed as Ambassador of Nepal to South Africa. It was a political decision, and I was actively involved in political movement, particularly in student movement. Just before my appointment, I worked as a member of Department of International Relations of Nepal Communist Party, UML, which is currently ruling party of Nepal. And before that, during that period, I also engaged in teaching in university level, as well as also worked in different governmental and non-governmental organizations in natural resource management, climate change, and food security sectors. And I have done my PhD in food security, particularly focusing on food aid and trade. I think it is okay now for now. And during my presentation, I will also add some point about me.
Thanks, Ambassador. I would like to let you know today we are joined by some of our members of Embassy Direct sponsors, among them Mr. Andres Strobel from Polo Consultants. We also have the pleasant presence of our colleague, Ambassador Becca Devali from the Republic of Georgia. Well, good morning, Ambassador. And you will all be able to later send any questions if you would like to address any questions to His Excellency Dr. Vishwakarma. Doctor, what are your plans as Nepali ambassador to South Africa?
Thank you, Rodrigo. Do I need to present here now? I have a small presentation.
Please.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yes.
You can see presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you again for inviting me in this Zoom webinar. Though I am going to present a small presentation here, we are here 2 persons. I will present the presentation, but if any queries or any questions arise, my colleagues, Deputy Chief of Mission, also here will also participate in the discussions. You will also try to fulfill your, try to answer on your queries. Thank you again. And in this presentation, I have I have mentioned 4 points. First of all, I will introduce myself, though I have also said some point before, and then I will present some point about Nepal-South Africa relations, and then I will present about key priority area of bilateral relations that you have focused, you have asked to present what are my plan. I will particularly focus on this this heading, this point, and then there is one point, avenues of collaboration. If there are any opportunities to work with you all, or are there any area where we can collaborate each others. This is an open discussion point. Your Excellency, I have already said about myself before, though introducing myself, my appointment as ambassador here is a political appointment. The background of this appointment is that I worked as a member of International Department of Nepal Communist Party, ruling party, for 10 years. I have also engaged actively in student politics as well as social movement. I have also more than 25 years experience, particularly in political movement, teaching and analysis, writing aspect in natural resource management, climate change, trade and aid, and social justice sector. I have done my PhD in food security, focusing on food aid and trade. Now I am going to present about, I'm going to present very short about Nepal-South Africa relation. South Africa is 8 times greater in terms of area, topography, and 2 times greater in terms of population than Nepal. In my, here I want to say that South Africa is very bigger than Nepal in terms of area and population. Both countries have rich diversity of multi-ethnicity, languages, and cultures. In this regard, both countries have also similarities with respect to ethnicity, language, and culture. Diversity of this area. Nepal and South Africa have friendly relations. Nepal served as a member of United Nations Special Committee Against Apartheid since its inception in 1962, and a vice chair of the committee for 25 years, starting in 1969 until the committee was disbanded in 1994. As a member and large vice chair of the committee, Nepal made significant contribution in the fight against apartheid in South Africa. Nepal has established its embassy in Pretoria in 2010, and both countries had signed diplomatic ties in 1994. And then now I am going to present about our key priority area of bilateral relations. And before presenting my key plan, I will try to say that I am saying that our objective of our diplomacy or foreign relations is now to contribute to achieve our country's motto of prosperous Nepal, happy Nepali. It is prepared by current government, and then it is also to contribute Nepal's plan to upgrade from least developed country by 2026. It was previously by 22. Now it is extended to 2026, and Nepal's plan to become middle income country by 2030. I think our diplomacy try to contribute to achieve this vision, or to achieve this target. Then we will focus here in different topics. First of all, I would like to present about bilateral trade. Nepal and South Africa as a trade, as a relation of trade, like import and export. Nepal trade deficit between South Africa and Nepal: import from 9.3 million USD, export from 0.7 million USD in 2009. I mean that there is a huge trade deficit between Nepal and South Africa. And Nepal imports particularly minerals, vitamins, pharmacy, spirit, vinegar, copper, sulfate, iron and steels, and aeroplane parts. And Nepal has a comparative advantage area. Nepal also export some product, though it is in very limited quantities, which are also comparative advantage area, product of comparative advantage area of Nepal. These are carpets, pashmina, shawls, handicrafts, orthodox tea and coffee, cardamom, painting, islands. I think these products are very good, or very there are also potentialities to export this product from Nepal. And then another point is that tourism promotion. Nepal is very suitable for adventure tourism. Nepal becoming tourist destination for South African tourists. Around 3,500 South African tourists travel to Nepal every year. Nepal is favorable place for training, tourism in climbing and mountaineering. Like a tourist particularly visited in Nepal for sightseeing, trekking, mountaineering. Like for example, like Sarah Kumbalo, South African explorer and mountaineer, became the first Black African woman to reach the summit of Mount Everest in May 2000. In the midst of COVID-19 pandemic, 1 or 2 South Africans summited Mount Everest this month. And again, I mean that Nepal is very potential area for tourists of South Africa, because as I hear, or I studied some literature, that now South African tourists particularly focus on adventure tourism. I think Nepal is a very good destination for them. And possibilities of direct flight between South Africa and Nepal, possibilities of establishing chains of hotels, tour and travel agencies. I think there are some possibilities to link between among the hotels who are providing service in Nepal, as well as who are providing service in South Africa. So this sort of collaboration, coordination or relation can be developed between them. In another topic is that foreign direct investment and technology transfer. Like still, South African investor increasing in Nepal. So far, 10 projects in Nepal. Potentialities of investment from South Africa in health, agriculture, tourism, and hotel sector. Transfer of technology, skill and technology of South Africa in mining sector may useful to Nepal in copper, iron, mineral, coal mining, exploration, and industrialization. I mean that Nepal can benefit from here through direct foreign direct investment, as well as foreign direct investment in service sector, as well as transfer of technology and skill in mining sector, because we are also focusing in mining sector in Nepal now. Another priority area is climate diplomacy. Like we have in climate change issue, as well as in natural disaster, public health, including COVID-19 pandemic. I think we can work together, or we can share our learnings, as well as we also can develop mutual understanding or mutual agenda or multilateral collaboration or coordination. And then another priority area may be like learning sharing or best practices replication. Particularly both countries, Nepal and South Africa, has its their own learning in different sector. So I think we can share we can share the best practices. We can be replicated in Nepal as well as in South Africa. I have mentioned some point here. I think social justice or social inclusion, the learning in social justice and social inclusion may be useful. And then truth and reconciliation may be useful in as well as learning from multilateral forums may be useful, or democracy and federalism. I think both countries have their own experiences which can be exchanged and shared between them. And then another priority area or another plan is public diplomacy. So we are very far. We are located in very far area, or distance between South Africa and Nepal is very far. We can promote public diplomacy, particularly through education exchange program, cultural exchange, sports, bilateral visits. Your Excellency, I think I have finished my presentation, and thank you again. And we can discuss, or we can exchange our ideas in the area of avenues of collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador. Yes, and I have a few questions actually, and after I am done with my questions, we will allow our participants to please send us on the section of questions and answers, to please send us your questions, and please introduce yourself, no, to the participants. Okay, Ambassador, what are the business opportunities in the mining industry and other areas?
Mining thank you, Your Excellency, for questions. As I mentioned one point about collaboration or transfer of technology and skill in mining sector. We believe that you have a very good experience in mining sector, like mine exploration, as well as industrialization of mine product. In Nepal, we have just started to explore and to extract mines, particularly like iron. Now we are trying to extract iron from mines, and we have also trying to explore mining potentialities of like copper, as gold, as well minerals. So I think your technology may be cost effective for Nepal, or your skills may be very useful for Nepal. So from here we can transfer your skill and knowledge, your technology to Nepal.
Ambassador, is your government granting any sort of concessions for foreign companies like the mining South African companies?
We are just trying to uh, develop some facilities or services, and but we have a very good environment which facilitate direct investment in Nepal. I exactly not can say now, but we can provide, we can link with our government or our services if anyone interested to invest in our country.
Do you have a trade office or chamber of commerce that we can contact in the future?
Yeah. We have a chamber of commerce. We have a trade office, and we have also like a office who lays or who link with a foreign investor. So we have Department of the Industry. So there are regarding structure, we have a good organization or good agencies which deal about the foreign investment.
Thank you, Ambassador. Do South Africans require visa to travel to Nepal?
Yes.
With the permission of Excellency, may I explain about the visa system? We have various category as a visa, but for the South African tourist, earlier it was on-arrival visa system. Due to this pandemic, now there is no on-arrival system, but we are issuing visa from here. From the embassy, it is necessary each and every international traveler to get visa before going to Nepal. Thank you.
How is Nepal coping with COVID-19, and how has it affected traveling and tourism?
Right now, there are no international flights. Government have decided to suspend all international flights until 31st May. Then government will decide whether it will be extended further or not, according to the situation evolve. So right now there are around 8,000 cases and less than 200 fatalities. If we go for the percentage, it is very high. It is alarming situation still. That's why government decided to impose prohibition. Government has not imposed a lockdown, but it's like a lockdown. It's very strict prohibition. Right now there is no, people are not allowed to go for movement or going from one place to another place like this, and that's why government decided not to allow any tourist to come until 31st of May. Thank you.
Thanks, Ambassador. Yes, Ambassador, can you share with our viewers and readers and our participants today, what are those tourist attractions about the food or what is there to do when the tourists arrive shopping and other things? Please elaborate about this.
Thank you. Actually, Nepal is very favorable country for tourists, and Nepali people are very hospitable as well, welcoming people. Nepali people welcome, or like we have one saying, "Atithi Deva Bhava," like very respect for guest. We have a culture to give high regard to the guest. So tourist, tourists are also regarded as guests, and they people of Nepal give high respect to the tourist. So I mean, hospitality of Nepalese people is very good and very nice. As people all over the world who visit to Nepal say that Nepalese people are very helpful, very like respectful. So it is one of the very favorable environment for tourists. And then the natural environment of Nepal is also very good. Like you can find different kind of climatic zone within a short span of time. Like we have a very flat land and as well as mountain land. So any person can experience, can enjoy the very high diversity of environment, as well as high diversity of natural resources. And we have also different kind of facilities such as hotels, and we have also very good transportation. We have also very good transportation facilities, particularly like we have a mountain flight from where we can see the views of mountains. So in addition, we are very famous or very well known for adventure tourism, like a trekking, very popular among South Africans. Like trekking, we have a very good trekking routes, very well equipped people and well trained like guide who provide service in trekking sector. And we are also very good in mountaineering. Like I already mentioned that we have a we have a Mount Everest, which is a roof of old. So mountaineering, not only Mount Everest, we have a very like a very higher mountain. We have a highest mountain, like among 14 highest mountain, we have a 8. So which is more than 8,000 meters height. So in mountaineering, we are very in good situation. We have also bungee jumping, like it is also advantageous tourism. We have also paragliding, particularly seeing mountains, lakes. So sightseeing is also very good, like sightseeing of mountains, sightseeing of forestry or natural resources. So we have also nature walking. We have also a very good destination for nature walking. We have also good in national parks. Though South Africa have a very large area of national park, we have a smaller, well-managed national park. So I think for tourists, we have a good facilities. We have a good like tourism destination. We have a good tourism products. So particularly focusing on courageous tourism. So it is one of the most suitable or tourist destination for tourists. In addition, we have some very important very significant old heritage sites, which are also very, which also provides very attraction to the tourist. So these are the broad area which attracts, which are suitable for tourists all over the world, as well as tourists of South Africa. Thank you.
Thanks, Ambassador. Can you tell us if there's any agreements or treaties in place between Nepal and South Africa, and any other that you are planning to negotiate during your stay here in order to strengthen the bilateral relations between the both countries?
Yeah.
Let me respond on that. We have not signed any agreement till now, but one is in we have finalized, but due to pandemic, we are not able to sign that one. Bilateral consultation mechanism we are establishing very soon. It was finalized in 2019, and it was scheduled to sign on around last year, March, May to May, in between. But due to this new development, we are not able to sign. It is finalized. We have that one. And after that, we will discuss maybe we can sign MOU to exchange cultural and scientific area. Education is another area. So till now, there is no any agreement or MOU. That is the situation right now. Thank you so much.
Yes, Ambassador, you have been already in the country, I should say a couple of months at least, so I guess that you have had the opportunity already to know a little bit of the country. Obviously a big country, there's a lot of things that you will be able to visit. But in the meantime, what would you recommend your fellow Nepalese that would be interested to travel in SA? What would you share with them? How would you recommend South Africa as a destination?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for question. As you said, I have just arrived here. It is only 1.5 months. So right now, it is very difficult to me to say or to recommend my colleagues in Nepal. Right now, it will be very superficial to provide any recommendation. Though I think just like, for example, our national parks, park management or natural resource management or wildlife management, wildlife management is very useful for Nepali visit or to see the national park, to see wildlife management. I think in this time, national park and wildlife management area are very attractive or for very useful to visit, to see in South Africa. In this time, I only can say about this.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I would like now to ask the participants if you have any questions for Dr. Vishwakarma. Please, could you kindly quickly place it on the Q&A section on below your screen. I will give you a few seconds. Ambassador, in the meantime, I will quickly tell you regarding Embassy Direct. Embassy Direct, beyond being a magazine that has been almost 10 years already of publication, we also, being the preachers of good news, we have a network of members that are part of the business community of South Africa. You are welcome to approach any of our members in the future. I would like to mention a few of them in the meantime. We have NetBank on board. We have Airlink on the travel area. We have Safari Guys. When you do your tourism, you plan your tourism around the country. Mercedes-Benz, and so many others. So please feel free to approach us if you need to contact any of our honorable members. We have a question. Okay, we have actually welcome from colleague Becca De Valle, Ambassador of Georgia to South Africa, and Dean of the European Group of Ambassadors. He wish you well, and he thanks you for such a informative presentation today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
If you would like to say some closing words, you are welcome to do so, please.
First of all, I would like to thank His Excellency Becca De Valle, Ambassador of Georgia to South Africa, for welcoming me and wishing successful tenure, my successful tenure in South Africa. Thank you again. I expect your advice or collaboration, coordination while I am in South Africa. And Your Excellency, have you said about closing remarks?
Yes, would you like to do some closing remarks, Ambassador, please?
Are we going to end the finish program?
Yes, correct. So this is moment for you to do your closing remarks, Ambassador.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency. I think collaboration with you all, regular contact and coordination with you all will be very useful for me. And I expect your suggestion or cooperation in the future. I am also very much interested to collaborate with you all. And thank you again for organizing this very important, very useful webinar. I think it's okay now, and I will try to collaborate with you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Thank you very much to the participants. This webinar will be uploaded in our website of Embassy Direct, www.embassydirect.co.za. So you're welcome to follow us there. In the coming weeks, we will have other new ambassadors that have arrived to South Africa, including next week ambassador from Lithuania, the following week from Kenya, the following one from Panama. Thank you very much again, and have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.